Kia ora, and welcome to my learning journey, supporting autistic Akona through He Pikarua. Today, I'm reflecting on my professional inquiry journey, focusing on building sustainable and culturally responsive RTLB support. I'm deeply passionate about this topic as it combines sustainability and cultural awareness to improve our educational practices. Throughout this presentation, I look at how the inquiry has shaped my understanding and influenced my approach. I'm excited to share my professional inquiry journey inspired by He Pikarua, aimed at supporting autistic students in New Zealand schools. This presentation will cover an overview of the He Pikarua cycle and its role in fostering collaboration, main focus of the inquiry and the key findings, knowledge gains and shifts that have occurred, changes in my practice, and a summary of Assignment 3 in relation to the findings from Assignment 2. The He Pikarua framework promoted collaborative relationships that supported our professional inquiry. Stage 1, building connections. Whakawhanongatanga. Everything started with creating trust and building relationships through face-to-face hui. The team took time to meet, discuss the project's purpose, and ensure that everyone's consent and voice mattered. My focus was on transparently sharing the project's context and establishing a safe collaborative environment that valued participants' time and expertise to support the inquiry approach. To support this approach, I shared agendas for each hui to maximise their time together by outlining the purpose of the meeting and providing progress updates on the inquiry process linked to the He Pikarua cycle. Stage 2, gathering data, koe. Together, we carefully designed the survey by seeking input from the RTLB members of the sense-making group for their feedback at every step of the process. The survey was piloted with the sense-making team. Feedback was gathered and adjustments were made to ensure questions were clear, relevant, and culturally sensitive. The survey was then shared by a third party across RTLB clusters in the South Island, and responses were collected for the group to explore together. Stage 3, making sense together, ata whakaaro. The team reviewed and coded a sample of the data collaboratively, drawing on everyone's experiences and perspectives. This collaborative approach laid a solid foundation for coding the remaining data. Regular hui kept the process transparent and inclusive. We used tools like mind maps and frequency tables to uncover patterns and themes, creating a space for group discussion and validation. Making sense of the data requires stamina, reflection, and collaboration to ensure that we made a rigorous and robust approach to data analysis and synthesis. Stage 4, collaborative project planning, tātai. Together, the group discussed what actions would have the most impact for teachers, RTLBs, and learners. The group set practical project goals, linked them to the findings, drafted a plan, and ensured it made sense to everyone involved. Stage 5, taking action, whakamahi. I completed the design project and shared it with the team for feedback, adjusted it as needed, and maintained open communication. The process stayed responsive to what worked for participants, adapting things along the way. Stage 6, reflecting together, wai whakaaro. The final hui was held to share the draft PLD session number 1, gather feedback, make modifications, and celebrate the journey. We gathered everyone's insights on the process, project, and impact to understand what worked and what might work even better next time for future growth. Stage 7, empowering and sharing, mana motuhake. The final stage was about spreading the learning, preparing a plan to disseminate the project, and ongoing sharing to embed effective practices in more settings. Strategies for sustaining positive change were discussed to carry the ripple effect beyond the initial group. Throughout the project, I maintained a strong focus on flexibility while prioritising everybody's ideas and well-being. Following the He Pikarua inquiry approach demonstrated a genuine effort to build trust, share decision-making, and ensured that the process remained focused on the real needs of those the inquiry aimed to support. This approach honoured cultural values and fostered partnerships throughout the inquiry process, ensuring that all participants were active co-creators. The inquiry explored how resource teachers of learning and behaviour can offer sustainable, culturally responsive support for autistic learners. Key findings include Systemic barriers, limited funding, and access to specialists hindered advocate support, especially in rural areas. Collaboration and teamwork among teachers, RTLBs, whānau, and learners enhance support, though systemic obstacles can impede effective practices. Collaborative problem solving, strong leadership can address those issues. Cultural responsiveness. Incorporating te reo Māori and Pacific values fosters trust in interventions. Personalisation. Tailoring strategies to meet individual and cultural needs improves outcome for students and their families. Professional development. Continuous learning from the entire school community is more effective than one-time and one-off training. Sense of belonging. Flexible school environments that celebrate cultural strengths lead to better outcomes for autistic learners. New knowledge emerging from the inquiry. One of the most profound things I've learned is that sustainable support isn't just about implementing strategies, it's about cultivating relationships and shifting mindsets. Hearing directly from students in whānau reshaped my understanding of inclusion. It's not just about physical presence, but also about cultural belonging and affirmation. I've shifted my thinking from asking, are we making a difference, to understanding how collective action and partnership can gently challenge systemic barriers. I've also discovered that spaces of trust and reciprocal learning, rather than one-off training courses, foster the best growth of adult capability. The inquiry helped me move from focusing solely on what needed to be done to asking how can we do it in a way that honoured culture, equity, and shared responsibility. Changes to my practice. This inquiry has shifted my practice. I seek whānau and learner voice early in the referral process because their input can result in minor adjustments and better learning outcomes. Employ my data analysis skills such as frequency tables and mind maps to strengthen the data collected for each referral. I prioritise culturally responsive approaches as foundational, not optional. To foster collaborative dialogue and ensure co-creation of knowledge, I have developed guiding questions for planning meetings. I'm more intentional about reflective practice, continually revisiting my assumptions and inviting feedback. I've moved from feeling responsible for fixing to holding space for relationships that enable growth for everyone involved. Looking ahead, Project Assignment 3. Building on the key findings from Assignment 2, this next stage focuses on collaboration with whānau and learners to overcome challenges such as limited funding and specialist support. By using culturally responsive, evidence-based and personalised strategies, schools can foster belonging and help autistic learners thrive in inclusive environments. Assignment 3 extends this foundation through a suite of PLD sessions designed to equip teachers, support staff, and school management with practical strategies and resources to strengthen inclusive classroom practice. The roadmap is an overview of the entire suite of PLD sessions beyond the ones presented for Assignment 3. Phase 1, laying foundations. We start by building everybody's understanding of the most effective ways to support autistic learners, looking at strategies like visual timetables, sensory support, and routines. The focus is on practical tools and shifting a collective mindset so every child feels included, drawing attention to the need for real observable change. This process directly responds to the findings, which suggests that teachers require clear guidance and knowledge to foster a growth mindset. Phase 2, personalising support. The next step was to help everyone find confidence about adapting strategies for each learner, embracing tools like social stories, personalised schedules, and sensory profiles. It focuses on planning and transitions and supporting students as individuals, which directly matches the inquiry's call for more personal and responsive approaches in schools. Phase 3, culturally responsive practice. This phase creates opportunity to learn about and incorporate Māori and Pacific perspectives by working closely with whānau and leveraging cultural frameworks. This session is about practical partnership, moving beyond theory to real collaboration. It aligns with the inquiry's push for deeper cultural adaptations and recognising the strengths whānau bring. Phase 4, sustaining change. We explore ways to make positive changes last, forming communities where staff can support each other, track progress, and adjust together. Coaching and mentoring became key tools, as identified in the inquiry, which showed the need for ongoing support rather than one-off sessions. Phase 5, Leading System Change. The final session focuses on empowering leaders, RTLBs, and school management to use data, align resources, and advocate for sustainable change. It addressed systemic barriers found in the inquiry, ensuring strong leadership and smart resource use can turn constructive ideas into lasting practice. Every session in this suite is a direct response to what teachers, RTLB, and whānaus identified and the needs in the assignment too. Supporting learners is not just with tools, but with the right mindset, cultural wisdom, collaboration, and system-level solutions. Drawing on insights from assignment 2, the goal is to create practical, accessible tools grounded in real needs and supported by evidence. The next step continues the spiral, deepening engagement, action, and reflection to promote lasting positive change. Closing thoughts. Thank you for sharing in this journey. The inquiry reaffirmed that change happens when we come together, listen deeply, and commit to walking alongside each other in support of autistic learners. By putting culture, collaboration, and courage at the forefront, we can support schools to embed sustainable practices that value every learner and empower them to thrive. This journey taught me that researchers do best when they work together and have a common goal. I look forward to continuing this work and to the conversations it will spark in our learning community. Thank you for this opportunity to build my collaborative practice through research.